here we go, and I believe we are recording. So what I want to do, guys, is I want to share with you a concept of, and can everybody, again, if I don't know if you're being automatically unmuted, unmute yourself if you don't mind. Let me see if I can help.
It's going to be loud on my end, I'm afraid.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you're not comfortable with it, that's fine. I'm only saying unmute yourself so you can interrupt me, because this is not going to be a meeting where I'm going to just teach. I mean, this will be interactive. So I tell you what, if you mute yourself and you have a question, unmute yourself, interrupt me if you want, and we'll go from there. All right, so let's get started. What I want to do is I want to talk today about, and the reason for the video is because I actually had a closing on Friday, and I trained on this many, many months ago, but a lot of agents have been asking me about this again. So I want to train with regards to a free lead gen tactic that you can implement right away. Now, I did get an agent that, let me see if I can find it. Nope, that's not it. I got an agent right here. Sheila said that she can't post in groups in Michigan. So, you know, you'll have to check and see what you can do. I know every state's different, every state broker's different, but for the most part, you should be able to post in groups. Now, what I will say with Facebook groups is don't be spammy. You know, don't start posting houses and think that you're going to get just tons of people saying, oh my God, where have you been all my life? I typically stay away from that. I'll post some things on group that have nothing to do about real estate, and then I'll post some things on group that's very targeted. It'll ask some targeted questions, but it won't be in your face. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Before I get started, if everybody could go to the chat, because I want to see where you're at. Go to the chat and drop me a comment, and let me know on the chat, do you know what text replacement is on your cell phone? Drop me comments right now. I just want to know if you're there, if you know what text replacement is. Just go in real quick on your chat. Give me a quick yes or no. All right, Randy says yes. Gordon, no. And I believe there's 9 of us on here. So, okay, great. So
I can't find the damn chat.
Chat. Well, if you can't,
I don't.
If you can't find it, that's okay. Just unmute.
I had it, but it disappeared.
Okay. So here's what I want to do. I want to share with you before we get started, because this is the easiest way for you to do this strategy I'm going to talk about, is on your cell phone, do text replacement. I'm going to show you a YouTube video. It's like 20 seconds long. I apologize. He's going to show you how to do text replacement, but he gets political with it. Ignore that. The concept of what he's doing is what I want you to do. And basically, text replacement is where you don't have to go into your cell phone and just like create all these long texts and send it. Or you ever get somebody that wants your contact information, and you're sitting there and you're like, okay, here's my name, EXP, broker by EXP, here's my phone, here's my email. What if I told you you could take one letter and type that one letter in, and it brings up the entire message that you want to send? Well, you can do that with text replacement. So watch this real quick. It gets the gist of it, and ignore his political bullcrap. And this works for Android or Apple. I have an Apple. If you have an Android, you can go to YouTube and do text replacement for Android. So I'll leave that up to you, but watch how simple this is. He's going to go to the general button. Once he clicks it, he's going to drop all the way down to keyboard. He's going to go to text replacement, and this will allow him to put in a phrase. So his phrase here, again, this is political. He's doing emojis, but you can type whatever you want. You can even drop a URL in there, and his shortcut is Trump. Again, so if he goes and he types in the word Trump anywhere on his cell phone, he could be on Facebook, Twitter, Insta, he could be texting somebody else. By texting the word Trump, let me get out of there. That emoji will pull up. So again, text replacement is super, super powerful, and you need to implement it today. It will cut a lot of time out of you guys sending crap. So I would do a text replacement for my lender. If you have somebody that hits you and says, hey, what's the address or what's the phone number of your lender? Just, you know, type in the word lender, and it'll bring up your lender's contact information. You don't ever have to go and search for it again. For you, your email signature, you should have that on text replacement. And all you simply do is just whatever phrase that you will remember for your signature, and it could just be signature. You type that in and boom, it's gone. If you have offers, like an offer to a buyer, hey, when you work with me, buyer, we're going to do this. Type in the phrase, that entire offer, and on the bottom, put in a keyword you'll remember, like offer one. So when you're talking to somebody, even on Messenger, and they're like, well, tell me a little bit more about what you can do to help me, just put in the word offer one and it pops up. Okay, enough about that, but you've got to start using text replacement, especially with this strategy. So here is how this is going to work. What I did is I emailed myself my text replacement for buyers that I post on Facebook. Now flow with me on this. This very top phrase right here, this section right here, when I put in the word HOP on my phone, if I'm in a Facebook group, this pops up. Stop making your landlord rich, looking for applicants for a renter to homeowner program. The requirement is 2 years employment. It doesn't have to be the same job with a 580 or better credit score. Like or comment below if you like information. Stop renting and start owning, or fire your landlord. I love Sean Cochran's Fire Your Landlord. So I will post that on a group, but I'm not typing all that crap in. I'm just going to a Facebook buy-sell group that I'm a member of, and I'm dropping in the discussion tab HOP, and bam, that pulls up. Now let me tell you what's going to happen. As long as you're not spamming this to the same group 3 times a week, if you do it once every 2 weeks, you're going to start getting 10, 15, 20 people that says interested, right? So when you drop that first line, stop making your landlord rich, with your text replacement on your, and this only works, the way you're going to do this strategy is on your cell phone. That's why I'm hitting you with the text replacement. So once you drop that in one of the groups that you're a part of, and we'll talk about groups in a minute and what groups to join and what groups not to, you're going to start getting a bunch of people. Now, you're going to get a bunch of people that, have like a 1 credit score. So what you're going to do is you're going to drop this next comment, but you're not going to drop it in that group thread. So if Jim Smith comments on that post, interested, tell me more. You're going to click his name on your cell phone, and it's going to bring up his messenger or his page. And there's a little button right there that says messenger. You're going to drop the second comment. Now on this one, I use the text code MESS1. So on his personal messenger, not for everybody in the group to see, but his, it's going to say this. Thank you for commenting on my home buying post. Do you have a 580 credit score and 2 years of job history? See, I'm further qualifying him. Doesn't have to be the same job. If so, go to Messenger and shoot me a quick hello. I will send you information on these awesome programs. So what he's going to do is he's going to come back and say one of 3 or 4 things. Nah, my credit's, crap, or I just started working, or whatever. And at that point, that's a long-term nurture. Just simply ask for the permission to stay in communication with him. Find out if you can get into your lender. If you've got a lender that has credit rebuild, this is a perfect scenario for you to pipeline him. And it shows him you're willing to work with him. You're the hope bringer, the hope giver, yada, yada. He could come back, or she could come back and say, yes, I do have a 580 or higher, and I've been working for 2 years. Bingo. That's what you want. Now, when that happens, you're now going to create. So if they come back on this second comment, now guys, before I go any further, let me go back to chat. I would like to know if this is making sense so far. Do me a favor. Go to the chat and let me know your flow, and just say following, or if you don't understand, just put a question mark. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page before I get to the next step, because the next step is the most important. All right, so everybody go ahead, go to chat, and let me know that you're with me on this, that I'm not losing you. All right, so Don is like question mark, following. Okay, good. Got it. Okay, great. Yep. All right, good. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Don, this is recorded, so you're going to have access to it. I'm going to throw it up on my YouTube channel. But what I wanted you to understand is the text replacement will stop you from having to type all this bull crap every time. It'll automatically pop it. And you're going to be putting this stuff into Facebook groups, okay? Facebook groups, not your general. Now, you can put it on your Facebook real estate page. You can do it, but you're going to get more reach on these groups. So now, if they come back on this second one and say, yes, I have a 580 or higher, and yes, 2 years, Now you're going to go into Facebook Messenger and create a private group with you, that person, and your lender, right? And here's what you're, now again, this becomes a private group, and the only people involved are the person that answered your request twice, and now your lender's involved. So guys, let me step back. You need to interview lenders that you're comfortable with, that are aggressive. And you need to say to the lender, Mr. Lender, I'm going to be implementing this strategy. Do you work on Facebook? Are you Facebook savvy and Messenger savvy? If that lender says no, go to another lender, because this will be a waste of your time. You need that lender on board with you, so that between you and the lender, we can massage them to getting into a position to talk with the lender and get an approval, or at least find out where they're at. Are they going to be a long-term nurture, or are we going to be able to talk to them in the next 30 days about going out and looking for homes? Again, I just closed one on Friday with a girl that came off of this exact program. I got her into a USDA, no money down, and I got $4,500 from the seller for closing costs. So what I'm saying to you is, don't discount these buyers, make a way. I'm telling you right now, if you implement this strategy, you could see one closing minimum a month if you're consistent. But I digress. Let me move forward. Once you have got them committed to here, this is what you're going to drop in the private messenger group. You've included your lender and the buyer and you. Thanks for responding back. My lender partner will be giving you some great information on our renter to homeowner program. There are many different programs you might be available to use. The lender even has a program to work with people that need some help getting their scores up. They're absolutely amazing. And then I drop a video, a 1-minute video where I say, hey guys, thank you again for doing this. Please understand that there will be no pressure from my team or the lender. We are here to help you answer any questions you might have. And if owning a home is a true dream for you and your family, we are the best partner to link up with. We would love to help you guys. Please make sure you interact with the lender as he joins this group and starts talking. And here's what I know. Until we see where you're at, we won't know what type of home to go and look at when you're ready. So please make sure you respond to the lender. And I'm absolutely excited to work with you guys on this journey to being an occupant of your dream home. So guys, that's it. I create a video, I drop a link, and when you go and click that link in Messenger, it opens up a video of me. Oh, this is so good. So now, here's what it looks like on Messenger. Here is a lead that I sent my lender. This, and I've got several lenders I use in this program, but this particular lender, so what I did is Savannah went ahead and said, interested here. When I dropped this one, she said, yes, I have a 580 and I've been working for 2 years. And at that point, I created this private group. And I said, at Savannah Morgan, Ray Combs is amazing. He will get with you on your options to get home. Ray then said, nice to connect with you, Savannah Morgan. See what I mean? You got to have a lender that's active and interactive and knows Facebook Messenger. Please download Kelly and I's. Now, understand, sometimes the grammar can be off, but anyway, I'm cool if we can get approval. Loan app to get set up for our journey to home ownership. Now, I actually have talked with him about this, and I actually prefer him to talk with them in Messenger and see if they can commit to a phone call before we start throwing apps on them. So we've made some adjustments there. But again, that's between you and your lender. If you're doing this enough, you're going to get people filling out apps. So that's it, guys. I've walked you through Facebook groups on how to do all of this. And what I'm going to do for every one of you right now, I'm going to go ahead and throw this. Now, you need to reword this to however you want to do it. But go into your chat. Let me drop it down. All right, go to your chat. I'm going to send this out to everybody here, and you might want to copy this. Just go ahead and there's some buttons right here on your chat. It'll say save the chat. If you want to save it, it'll save it and you can have it later, or just go ahead and copy all of this, paste it on a Word doc, and now you've got my content. Just change it for your lender, create a video on your own, yada, yada. Hope that makes sense, because I can't get any more generic than that. But there is your business in a box for Facebook groups. Now, let's talk about Facebook groups. Before I get into this next one is going to be absolutely important. If you get this next one wrong, then don't do any of this because it's going to be frustrating. Let me ask this. Hold on a second. I think I sent it. There we go. All right. if you don't mind, just so I know, is everybody following me at this point? Do you got the gist of this strategy? Hit the chat button, because I want to go to the next one that shows you how to find these groups. But I don't want to go there if you're not with me. So let me know you're on board with me. Okay, boo, 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 boo. Good, good, good. Keep going. Don, are you with me, brother? Are you with me on this, Don Alexander? Come on, talk to me, Don. All right, good deal. So now let's go into how to find groups and how to join these groups and not be spamming. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to go into your Facebook and you're going to go and hit the groups. Matter of fact, I'll show it to you here. Okay, when you're in your Facebook, there's a little tab down here that says groups. When you click it, it's going to come here. And it's going to ask you if you would like to discover groups, categories. So here are the different categories. Now, you don't want to join the business ones for this strategy. Parenting, it's kind of iffy. Definitely not humor. Definitely not science and tech. Not travel. You want to join buy-sell groups, okay? So when you click buy-sell groups, it's going to bring up groups that you can start to join. Now, I'm going to show you live how I do this. Don't be afraid to join groups that are not in your city. I say join groups within 50 miles. Guys, I will drive 50 miles with a buyer for a $6,000 commission check. And to make this successful, you've got to branch out with your groups, and whatever you're comfortable with, join these groups. Now, disclaimer, do not join any more than 10 groups a day. If you do, Facebook can put you in timeout because they are going to use algorithms to see if you're a spammer. So I generally join 8 to 10 a day until I have about 35 to 50 groups that I'm a part of. So Oviedo happens to be a 40-minute drive from my home, but I want you to see something. There are 30,000 members. Guys, 30,000 members. So any group that you want to join with 5,000 or less, don't do it. Has to have at least 5,000 members, because if you post in that group and there's only, 2,000, 3,000, you're not going to get the interaction. So with Oviedo, I'm just going to simply hit join. And what is your purpose of joining? To buy and sell, right? Do you live in Florida? Yes. Now, let's say if they ask you specifically if you live in Oviedo, what I would say is I live very close to Oviedo. I plan on using this to network with others about products, or network with others about things to sell. So, I mean, be honest, but you can also be generic. You follow me? All right, so do you live in Florida? Yes. Have you read the guidelines? They are all the same, so I'll just put yes. I agree to the group rules, and then look, boom, submit. Within minutes to a day, I will get accepted into that group, and I'm glad I'm doing this video with you guys because I found a killer group there. But once you're a part of the group, you can go in with discussion tab. Now, most groups will have, over here where you can post things for sale. When you go and pull up the group, you want to hit the discussion. That's where you can put some things in there and people can interact with you, all right? So here's one in Altamont Springs I'm going to join. I might as well do it while I'm here. What is your purpose? To sell things. What city do you live in? Near Altamont Springs. Now, can I tell you that these group admins aren't looking at this? They're getting hundreds of group requests a day. They're just not doing it. Are you selling a car? No. Submit. All right, enough about that. Go and join it. Man, I'm telling you, look at these things. Good God, 65. Anyway, I digress. So join a bunch of these groups. Don't do any more than 10 a day. Now, let me go back into, and I'll show you some groups that I'm in. Let me put this back up here. All right, so here's groups that I'm in. And what I'll do is I'll find one right now. Miami Real Estate, boom. So guys, when I click Miami Real Estate, okay, see that little discussion tab? Right there. And if I were on my phone, I would drop it. And I'm not going to drop it here because I don't want to go to Miami. That's 5 hours away. But this is where I would, if I were on, now again, don't do this on your computer. Do it on your cell phone. This is where I would be on that group and I would type in the word HOP. That's it. it populates, I hit post, and we're done. Now, how many of these groups, once you're joined, so once you're a part of 45, 50, 100 groups, what you're going to do is you're going to implement this campaign to no more than 10 groups a day. Again, any more than 10, and Facebook thinks you're spamming. So if you keep it to 5 to 10, you're perfectly fine, right? And what you're going to do then is you're going to go back to these groups on your cell phone, and you're going to drop that first line. You need to let your lender know that you're doing this campaign so that they are aware to be monitoring their Facebook Messenger. So when you create that private group, they're going to get a message on their phone, hey, you were just tagged, blah, blah, blah. So guys, that is the strategy. And that is how you are going to start generating a ton of leads. Now, be advised, a lot of these leads are going to be junk. But there's gold in them, hills. And since it didn't cost you anything but your time to join these groups, this strategy will yield you some closings. And it's absolutely free. When you implement this strategy, other than your time, you're not spending $1 for that lead. And you're going to get some into your pipeline. So if you get their contact information, put them into a KD Core drip to stay top of mind with them. Make sure your lender has them on a drip, and your lender, I would interview lenders that have some killer programs for credit rebuild, right? So guys, that is the campaign. Now I want to talk about offers too. When I'm talking to these groups, I happen to be in an area that has USDA eligibility around me. So get real familiar, and I'm going to drop this URL into the chat box. Okay, make sure you copy this URL. Find out, this is a way for you to find out if you've got 0 down home loans, USD, around you. So I just picked an address in Leesburg that's about 25 minutes from me. I hit go, and look, right there. So if I'm working with a buyer and money is an issue, if I can get them on a USDA, I just took away the down payment. If we can look at homes that are eligible for USDA and we implement a strategy to find homes they would like that have been on market more than 60 days, you dang well better believe I'm going to get the seller to pay anywhere from 1.5 to 3.5 points of their closing. The lady that I just closed on Friday from this program had a USDA loan that we hooked her up with. Also, she took advantage of me negotiating for her closing costs. She had inspections and appraisals and some minor things. So I think she only had to come out of pocket $2,500 to close on her home. So guys, that's where you get real dangerous as a real estate agent. I think somebody just asked me a question. Let me see. Bear with me, guys. Who asked me? What kind of credit? 630, I believe, guys. 630. So let's say, and that was a good question, Melanie. Let's say you've got a buyer at 590 or 600, right? You can implement a strategy with your lender to get their credit up to 630 to 640 within months. There are, and I'm not going over those strategies on this video. I'm not going to take the time for that. But there are strategies to do this. Obviously, if they've got bankruptcies, they've got high debt to income. I mean, that's a work in progress. But if you've got somebody close, have your lender work with them to do some suggestions. Maybe a family member that has a credit card that's aged long, very low balance, they can make that person an authorized signer. They won't give them a card, and that person's not going to go, you know, they'll have to be a trust bridge there. But if that family member allows them to take advantage of their good name and credit, you can see a 15 to 25 point bump within 15 days just with that. There's some other strategies, but I hope that helps. Melanie, if they're right on the cuff, 630, you can get in there. But here is the really cool thing. That's a pipeline client for the next 1 to 6 months. You're a hope bringer. Now imagine the testimonies if you can get that client closed on a home by working with them and your lender. Imagine the testimonies you'll get on Zillow, you'll get on your Google page, you'll get on Realtor. If you get that person into a home and they didn't think they could, oh my God, that alone is worth the price of the ticket. So guys, I'm going to now leave it up to you. There's 15 of you on here. I've got the chat box open if you want, but if you want to unmute yourself, go ahead and hit me with any questions because we're going to be done. I try to keep this around 30 minutes. We're right at the 26-minute mark. Unmute yourself. If several of you talk at once, we'll have to figure it out. But if you have any questions on this strategy, let's go ahead and talk about it right now. So ready, set, the floor is yours. You've got me. Ask me some questions. If I don't get any, we'll end the meeting. Just unmute yourself. If you don't know how, there's a little thing at the top that says ask to unmute.
Hey, Kelly, this is Akil. Will the recording be available? I just saw that notice and I just joined you.
Yeah, I'm actually recording it as we speak. So when we're done, I'm going to shoot it to my YouTube channel, and then I'm going to post it on my marketplace group. Sounds good?
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Awesome, awesome. Anybody else?
Okay. Yeah, Kelly. All right. So you're saying join the group,
Yep.
and then put that first line as a post.
Yeah, so what I want you to do, I don't want anybody listening to me right now. If you don't currently have at least 30 to 50 groups, don't do this strategy till you do.
Oh.
What I want you to do is I want you to join a bunch of these groups that are near you, buy sell groups. And then once you have, 25 to 30 that you're a part of, you can start. And then you're going to go ahead and drop the first, hold on, there we go. You're going to drop that first line on that group using text replacement. Now, do you have the concept of the text replacement down?
No, I don't really.
Okay. Well, rewatch the video when I post it. Were you with me at the beginning?
Yeah, I'll watch it again.
Okay, watch it again because and you know what? Here's the deal. For those of you listening to me right now, go to YouTube. Do text replacement. If you have an Android, say how to use text replacement on Android. If you have an iPhone, how to use text replacement on an iPhone. Some of these videos are less than a minute. It's super simple. Once you have this strategy, you're going to use text replacement for your whole business. Have you ever been on Facebook and you're like, oh crap, and you've got to type something that basically you find yourself typing a lot? With text replacement, boom, you're done. So what I do is this first comment I have on my phone as HOP. I did it 9 months ago. I think I did HOP because it was like hope. I just tried to make it small. So if I do HOP on a group, that will post. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start to see people respond. Now you're going to have people that will say, you're full of S. This is spam. This is Johnny. You're going to have it. Don't respond. And for God's sake, on the thread on that group, don't respond on that. Click their name and bring up their page on your phone. And there's a little button that says message. Message them from there. You don't want to put all that stuff on the Facebook group because it just doesn't look good. You're going to private message them. So anyway, I hope that answered your question. Anybody else want to jump in?
How do you recommend we get lenders to go with us? I'm fairly new.
Yeah.
I've only worked with a couple of lenders, so I don't know that I have a.
All right. So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me. What is your city?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
CHAR. There we go. See what I just did? I Googled that. And you see this right here?
Mm-hmm.
You see how I got to where I got?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right here, I'm going to hit more places, and it's going to bring up every lender that's worth anything in your city. And what I would do is I would look at who has the most ratings and the best score. Anything 4.5 and above with a lot of testimonies, that's who you want to call. So I would just start calling. Here's one right here with a 4.8 at 1,300 people leaving comments on his site. So I would definitely call Wyndham and see who I could talk with. But that's how you do it. I would just start interviewing and saying, listen, I'm a newer agent. I do have a strategy I want to talk to you about, and I want to find out if you are the lender that wants to handle my leads.
Okay.
I don't know if you just heard what I said, but when you say to a lender, I'm an agent in this area, I'm getting ready to implement a buyer lead gen strategy on Facebook. I'm calling to find out if you are the lender I'm going to send the leads to. If so, I have certain criteria, and I'd like to share with you what I need from my lender. And if the lender starts saying, well, I don't do Facebook, you say, listen, I appreciate you. I'll keep you in mind, but I really need to find a lender that knows Facebook Group Messenger. Does that help you?
It does. Actually, I've dealt with Fairway Mortgage of the Carolinas, and
Yep.
I agree with the 5-star rating.
Hey, listen, by the way, Fairway, for those of you listening, if you can find a Fairway Mortgage Company, they actually have a branded app they give you. So whatever lender you work with, they will brand an app with both of you on there. and it gives a link on the app. You can actually send the app through your cell phone. There's a link on there for people to fill out a mortgage application, and every time they do, you get tagged on it. You get a text and an email from them. John Smith just filled out the application, and you can see the status. John has completed the application. John's been denied, or John has been approved for a mortgage. So if you happen to have a Fairway, they do have these branded apps that are really, really awesome. All right, anybody else got a question? You got me for a couple more minutes and then we're done.
Hey, Kelly. First off, just wanted to say thank you for this. Information is great.
You're welcome.
And my question was just in regards to the USDA.
Yes.
Is there a way to search like specific cities, or do you have to
let me go back here to USDA. Let me do this just for the heck of it. So I don't embarrass you. Are you in an apartment or a home?
I'm in a home.
Okay, give me your address. Do you mind giving me your well?
No, not at all.
Okay, go ahead. Please understand before you give it to me, this video will be on YouTube.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
How about I give you a neighbor then?
Do it. Give me whatever address is in your city.
Okay. 18 Biltmore Street.
1A Biltmore
Correct.
Street.
Attleboro, Attleboro, Massachusetts.
Help me spell Massachusetts.
Or you can just put MA.
Let me see if it'll pull it up. Okay, this area is not eligible, but I'm going to wind the map out a little bit.
Ah, okay.
All right, so anything that's not dark brown is eligible, all right?
Ah, okay.
So if I go back into that home, it's literally right on the cusp. So let's say you're working with a buyer. You can pull up this website, show homes in these areas that are not affected, okay?
Ah, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, excellent. Thank you.
So here is a better view of your area. All of the brown, now, if you don't know much about USDA, a lot of realtors for some reason think it's only for poor people. They do loans, I think, up to $500,000. USDA was not put together primarily for people that were income challenged. USDA was to make sure people had access to homes outside of cities. So it's geared to get you outside of the city and develop more rural areas. So while it might be a little bit more of a challenge, so if somebody says, I want to live in Pawtucket, my God, you guys have some really cool names. West Warwick, Bristol, Fall River. Anyway, if you want to live in Pawtucket and you don't want to live anywhere else, then you need to get a different, look at a different lending vehicle. But if you like Pawtucket, but there's a home 2 minutes away and it's in a USDA, this is where you as a realtor can use your skills to create the atmosphere of Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner. If you are looking for your dream home and you don't want to spend $8,000 to $12,000 to $15,000 in down payment, would you consider a home 2 miles away from Pawtucket? Does that make sense?
Right, that makes perfect sense.
So I dropped this in the chat box. Make sure you get it. This is a great site for all of you. And real quick, I don't know why I'm going to do this. Is there another agent on here that wants me to show you your area to see what's eligible? If so, unmute yourself and give me an address.
Could you do 3422
All right,
Tiger
hold on
Lily
1
Lane?
second. Let me do it right now. So 3422.
Well, actually, hang on. That's actually, I just realized that's under construction, so it's not going to be on the map. Ugh. Can you do just cities?
Give me a city. I don't know, but we'll try. Give me a city. Actually, give me your state. What state are you in?
I'm in North Carolina and South Carolina. I'm on the board.
North. Now, what it's going to do is it's not going to give me specifics, but it'll bring up your state. So what we want to do. Now, here's North Carolina. Tell me what city you're close to.
Charlotte.
Help me out here. Right here?
Yeah.
All right. So you see that entire brown area?
Uh-huh.
That's no USDA, but you see right outside of Charlotte in these areas?
Yeah, I was looking down between Rock Hill and Monroe is closer to where I'm at.
Okay, so all of the area around you probably would be eligible. Now, another way you guys can check it is go to Zillow and put in Rock Hill, or put in whatever area is outside of Rock Hill. Find one of the homes on Zillow that's a for sale by owner, for sale, whatever, and then put that address into this website. That will give you an indication of what's available. But anyway, you guys can use this site to check to your heart's content. This is just one of those strategies that you can use to motivate them to look at getting an approval with the USDA. And I can tell you, I'm closing USDA loans right now with my buyers in about 45 days. So it's great, great, great loan vehicle. Not going to work all the time. So, you know, the buyer's going to need to understand if we go FHA or conventional, you're looking at 3.5%. But if you're good at what you do, you can also say to the buyer, if we target the right home, something that's been on market for 60 plus days, I have a good opportunity to try to get your closing costs paid. So you can be very dangerous and helpful at the same time for that buyer, because you've got access to tools that, and I'm telling you right now, most agents don't even know what I just said. Some of you probably hadn't even thought about that. You know, when you're with a buyer, go after homes that have been on market for a while that would be acceptable to the buyer. Now you are in a position to make offers to the seller. If you try to go to a home that's been on the market for less than 30 days, chances are they're not ready yet to start talking about closing costs. Does that make sense, guys?
It does. Are there only certain lenders that do USD, or does any?
Pretty much every lender that I know will do any of these loan vehicles. Again, I would interview several lenders. I wouldn't have just one go-to lender. I have a go-to lender, but I also have other lenders that don't mind getting dirty. So, I mean, as a real estate agent, you've got to have multiple tools, multiple weapons. Please hear me on this. Don't bank your business on just one lender. Now, I know if there's probably somebody that's with us. We had 15 are still with me. I know some of you are like, I've got this lender that I love. That's great, great, great. But why would you chase away somebody that lender might not be a good match for? So have 2 to 3 lenders on your pipeline, but you need to find a lender that will get into this strategy and get dirty with you, that will get on Facebook, that will start to, that's really what you need. My primary lender, I would never do this program with, because, you know, she's dealing with 640, 650 and above. She doesn't have time to mess around. She wants you to send, but when I give her somebody, you better believe that sucker's going to close. But anyway, anybody else, and we're going to be done. This is your last opportunity. Hit me up with any questions. And if it's a question that has nothing to do with this, I'll take it before we leave. Otherwise, we're going to be done. So the floor is up to you guys. Unmute yourself, ask me a question, or we're going to stop it, and I will send this to YouTube, and you can watch it later. Ready, set, go.
Thank you, Kelly.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Akil.
Thanks,
Website
Kelly.
again. Let me put it here. I will
Just
copy
put in,
it.
there is limits for the USDA as far as income limits, so it's limited to the lower priced homes.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. In Florida, I don't know. I'm just pretty much the same. If the married couple makes less than 140, I believe it's 140. You have to bear with me. I might be wrong. If you're watching the video, don't comment below and say you're stupid. I think it's between 110 to 140. Guys, that'll put them in a $300,000 home.
Yeah.
And a $300,000 home at 3% is $9,000. And if you're capped, and if you're not, it's $7,000. I friggin' will do that all day long. And it's not going to be a $500,000, $600,000 home, but USDA is a good vehicle to get some. And typically, what you're going to find is these people are buying homes between 175 and 250K. I'm fine with that. Give me 1 or 2 of those a month. But anyway, all right, guys. Well, it doesn't look like there's too many other big questions. I'm going to go ahead and end it. I appreciate all of you guys. And as always, when I'm done with the video, I'll post the YouTube link on my marketing group, and you guys can have it. Do me a favor. When you see it, share it. I'd love to see this video go wide. Share it, because this stuff is really good stuff. And I'll leave it at that. Guys, thank you so much. Have a great day, and I look forward to sharing with you on the next video.